Congratulations, Mr. President.
What a difference a year makes. President Biden swept into office with big plans and a pledge to heal the deep divisions in U.S. politics and society. Early successes in passing a bipartisan bill for COVID relief and infrastructure spending on a scale not seen in decades led to comparisons to Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal that helped lift the U.S. out of the Great Depression. But a surge in COVID cases and deaths and an inability to unite his own party in the face of united opposition from Republicans led to legislative gridlock in Congress on everything from tackling climate change to social welfare spending and protecting voting rights. Defending his record, however, Biden used a near 2-hour press conference to say he will engage with the U.S. public more in his second year in office.
There's 3 things I'm going to do differently now that I've gotten the critical crises out of the way in the sense of that knowing exactly where we're going. Number 1, I'm going to get out of this place more often. I'm going to go out and talk to the public. I'm going to do public fora. I'm going to interface with them. I'm going to make the cases of what we've already done, why it's important, and what will happen if they support what else I want to do.
But plunging poll numbers and wafer-thin majorities in Congress threatened by upcoming midterm elections in November mean that the president may have just a few months to avoid becoming what political pundits here call a lame duck president. On foreign policy too, Biden is scoring low. A disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, an inability to revive the Iran nuclear deal, and potential confrontation with Russia over Ukraine are overshadowing other positive developments for the US. For example, rejoining the Paris Climate Accord and re-engagement with allies from Asia to Europe. On China, however, many of the Trump-era policies, from trade to Taiwan to interference on human rights, remain in place. For 4 years of the tumultuous Trump presidency, Biden's perceived professionalism was considered a plus. But more than 1 million cases of COVID on a record-shattering day on January the 3rd, coupled with delays in adequate testing and mask supply, have called that professionalism into question. And US vaccination rates trail those of other developed nations. And a strong economic recovery is clouded by soaring inflation, leaving many Americans in a sour mood.
I have never felt more discouraged and disillusioned with the state of electoral politics in the past year and change. I think Biden entered office. It was kind of a big hopeful moment. He was ready to govern broadly, even if he might not necessarily have been my candidate in the primary. I had some hopes about it.
A year into this administration and the deep divide from everything in America, from elections to vaccines, continues to deepen. It is possible that Joe Biden could turn around his political fortunes for the midterms and for his potential re-election bid in 2024. But the deep divisions in American society are expected to last longer than his first term. Well beyond that, indeed. Nathan King, CGTN, at the White House.